Okay, now for this lab, um, I'm going to demonstrate the vulnerability, and in this case, I'm going to use a controlled lab. So I have my VMware on with the Kali Linux running. This will be the attacker, and the Metasploitable to Linux. So this will be the target machine in this case. The vulnerability identified in this simulation penetration testing exercise is an exposed remote root shell on TCP port 1524, which allows unauthorized root level command execution without authentication. So we are going to access the target machine at the root level without authentication. So we're going to use a bunch of commands, and we're going to see them during the demonstration. So like I said, the purpose of this assessment is to identify, assess, and exploit one vulnerability using the concept that we've learned from week 1 to 3, including reconnaissance, enumeration, vulnerability assessment, and exploitation. So in this lab, like I have mentioned, I'll use Kali Linux as the attacker machine, and Metasploitable 2 is the target machine. So I'm going to begin. So the first thing is to set up the environment, which I have already done, and let me log in. The first step is to identify the IP address so that I'm able to see whether there is communication between the attacker machine and the Metasploitable 2. So from here I can see that my IP address is 192.168.71.128. So I'll first check whether I can ping the internet. Where is the typo? Yep, I'm able to access the internet. I have marked my IP address, so I'll go to Metasploitable, login as well. Okay, so I'll use the default login credentials for the Metasploit. Yeah, and we are in. So again, let me see if I'm able to access the internet. Yep. And the next one is to check whether I'm in a position to now access the attacker machine from this. So I want to be sure that there is indeed communication between the two. The IP is 192.168.7.128. So 192.168. dot mm, dot 128 dot 71 dot 128. Yeah, as you can see, there is already communication established from the metasploitable to the attacker machine. Now I'll confirm the IP address for the metasploitable machine, and it's 192.168.71.129. So then go back to the attacker machine and ping 192.168.71.129. Yeah, now the communication is there. So the target machine is reachable on the lab. So the next step is the basic reconnaissance. So since it's a penetration testing, the reconnaissance is used to gather information about the target system, and I want to identify potential entry points in this case. So I'll do a basic nmap scan, and the reason for doing this, I want to discover any open ports that I can use. So I'll do an nmap scan to now the target machine 192.168.71.129. Yeah, so that is the nmap. So the scan, it has shown multiple open ports on the target. So I can see we have FTP, SSH, Telnet, HTTP, among other services. So the more the open ports, or the more the presence of multiple open services, um, the that is the chances of an attack increases. So so yeah, now the next step, I want to see whether I want to test the service detection. So in this case, I'll now go ahead and perform a service detection using nmap to identify the specific services running on those ports. So I've first identified the open ports. Now I want to identify the specific services that are running on the ports. So this will help in um, will help in this assessment, because it is going to give me more details about the exposed services. And so in this case, I'll run nmap. the same target IP. So I'll wait for the scan to finish. About 97.25 done, so let's wait. Yeah, now it's done. So I'll check. Uh, now, now that we have identified the open services, and based on the result of the reconnaissance and service detection, so I've selected one vulnerability for exploitation is the requirement by the assessment. So the vulnerability that I've chosen is an exposed remote shell on port TCP 1524. Here it is 1524 open. It is open. The it is bind shell, metasploitable root shell. So that is the vulnerability that I'm going to exploit in this case. It is a critical weakness because a remote shell should never be openly exposed, especially one that may provide root level access. So I will now attempt to exploit the selected vulnerability by connecting directly to port 1524 using sorry using so I will connect it using netcat. So netcat will be useful here because it will allow me to have direct interaction with the exposed TCP service, and it is also suitable for validating whether the bind shell is accessible. So I'll proceed with the command. Now nc 192.168.71 dot the target IP now, then space, and now the port that I'm targeting, in this case 1524. then enter. So the connection has been established, as you can see, and I now appear to have an interactive shell on the target system, as you can see. Now I'm going to proceed. So I'm going to proceed and check whether I mean the target machine is which kind of a user. So I'm going to use who am I in this case. So I'll proceed. Who am I? So the output is root, so which confirms that I have all the privileged access. So now the next thing I'm going to check is the ID. So as you can see, it has returned still root. So you have seen now the groups, and we now have confirmed that we have the root privilege. And now the next command I'm going to use is the uname. The command is used to check the system information from the compromised host. And now the fourth command, let's try to confirm whether I'm operating directly on the target system. So I'm going to say to use the pwd command. Yep. So this vulnerability, as you can see, is highly critical because it has allowed me as the unauthorized remote command execution with the root privileges. So it is a real in a real case scenario, that is in an organizational environment, this could allow an attacker to fully compromise the target server, and they could have access to modify files, install malicious tools, and etc. This is because the root access gives full control over the system, and the risk to confidentiality, integrity, and availability is severe. Yeah, so that's it for this presentation. Yeah, thank you.